So let's set the scene a little bit for you guys. When you
So
show up at this airfield, there's a couple of night errant officers at the security checkpoint, and they look at your passes. Then they sort of look over at your entire team, and then they look at the other officer, and then the little like bollard just goes down into the ground, and they hand you the pass back, and they don't say anything whatsoever.
It's good because they won't like my nanites.
And there's sort of an unmarked hangar out there with a big plane, like one of those big giant like passenger planes that's been painted pure white, and there's a few dents in it. You know, your gear is there in a box, and it's all shiny and brand new. You know, you even have to take like the instant plastic wrap off.
Ooh. Oh, the stuff that makes it look like blue metal, and then you start peeling it off, and you're like, whoa, stainless steel.
Yeah, there's even the protector over the faceplate, you know, so it doesn't get scratched. And it says do not remove until operation.
So this is full body. The Arctic Forces suit is a full body armor type, right? Where you can't wear like also a helmet and also arm guards and shit like that.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
So you guys get into the plane. It'll take off. There's a shortage of seats in this plane. Most of the plane has been gutted to make room for yourselves and the gear. And it's the kind of seats where you like strap yourself into the side. And the captain's section has been totally sealed off so that you cannot get into the captain's area where the pilot is from the interior of the plane.
That makes sense.
The pilot will speak to you over a speakerphone.
That's a bold claim.
And inform you that it'll take about 6 hours to get there. 5 of which are incredibly boring hours, and you can, you know, read, watch some trids, do what you got to do.
Damn.
And
I was imagining this as being a prop-driven transport plane.
so it flies up, and then it'll come back down, and you'll hear from the pilot over the intercom. We're entering the storm now. It's going to get a little choppy back there. Just make sure you're strapped in, and when we get over the drop point, the hatch is going to open.
Did he say storm?
Yeah.
Here we
They
go.
said there was going to be a storm.
This is where the fun begins.
Hope you guys know how to jump.
Hell yeah. Oh man, that might be a problem, you know, doing your first jump in a storm and everything. I guess just follow me. Try not to die.
Then
Things
about
have a
45
parachute
minutes
if
later,
it gets real bad.
Avery's visibly skid.
you know, it gets real choppy, and you'll notice that a lot of the screws that were quite loose in there have tightened up, and the plane, you know, occasionally just bumps and jerks and feels like it's going kind of in a direction that it shouldn't be going. And then you hear over the intercom, all right, we're over the drop point. Hatch is coming down. And then the back hatch is going to drop, exposing, you know, all this wind to just immediately blast in. Freezing cold, of course. And you can see the snow. In fact, you can't see very far outside of it because he's driving through a storm. And by driving, I mean flying.
Do we have any AR things to kind of help navigate by, or are we going by GPS alone?
You do have a HUD in your helmet to kind of help give you an idea where to go. And you were given the geotags of the base and the geotag of your extraction point. And also there's a spare bag that includes a polar suit for your extraction target, and it includes a special handling box for the box if you should choose to get that.
Nice.
Right. So as that opens up, Beast says, anybody else need a little bit of pick-me-up? And he just puts a AR of some kamikaze up.
I don't know if
Whoa.
you're going to want to do that.
Hey, whoa. What? Drugs? Really? We're carrying firearms and you want to use drugs?
Plus that
Wait,
that crash is
what?
really going to kick your ass if we're trying to hoof it through the snow.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
fine with the crash.
Yeah, well, I'd rather not crash until we've already got the target secured.
Up.
And
Can you
I'll
guys
take
stop
some for
saying
later,
crash? We're like 100,000 miles up.
Anyway,
yeah.
we need to go.
Yeah. Speaking of crash, here we go.
Wait.
I'm go.
Wait, shouldn't the pilot go a little bit lower?
Shut up and jump already.
Yep, I'm hopping out.
Give me that free fall.
Yeah, wingsuit spec. So, real quick, we've got chutes with the wingsuits, right?
Yes, you do for the last 100 meters or so.
All right. Yeah, I will
It's
strongly
gonna
suggest
be
they don't
way
try to land in the
upwards.
suit. Nice.
Oh, thank fucking Christ. Oh wait, that's a D5, not D6. Shit.
It's
Oh,
better.
You might want to keep it. Yeah.
D5s have worse odds than a D6.
Can-
Keep it.
Can I keep it, please?
Yeah, I'll let you keep that.
It makes 6.
All right, Beast pre-edges that.
So I don't want to wake my entire house, but there is a very not manly, loud mewling sound coming over the audio as Pickett jumps out.
So when you jump out of this plane, the first 10 meters or so, you're getting buffeted by hail and snow. You can't hear anything. You nearly can't see anything. You can't breathe other than through the gas mask in your helmet, and you lose all sense of direction. Because you're in the storm and you're free falling, and then your wingsuit opens up and starts to glide. And then pretty soon you'll be able to tell which direction you are, although you're getting buffeted really hard by the snow. And Maggie, you were born for this. You can see the little arrows in your HUD telling you where to go, and you just glide like a flying squirrel, or those weird snakes in South America that can fly, right? And you come landing instantly, easily on your feet. Hammer and Pickett and Beast, you all have a pretty good instinctive idea about how to do this, and you're not quite as graceful, but you fly through the storm, and you come in around 50 meters away from Maggie, and sort of roll to a stop on your butts. And Abby, you go flying, and the storm buffets you first one direction and then another, and then you're able to kind of straighten your arms out, and you think back to what people do in the trids, because that always works. And then pretty soon you catch the wind, and you're able to start gliding, and there's just storm everywhere. And before you know it, the ground comes rushing up to meet you, and so you would turn on your little emergency parachute, and it catches, and you come sliding, and then you kind of hit the slope a little bit, and it knocks the wind out of you.
Oh Jesus.
And then you go sliding like a sled, because you're kind of on the downward slope. Give me a gymnastics check.
Do you have any magic that can save you?
I have levitate. Would that do anything?
You can use it on yourself if you so choose to.
I'll give that a go. So, did I levitate myself successfully?
Yeah, so you come to a stop immediately as you lift yourself up.
I'm not dead.
No, and it's pretty fortunate you did that, because you can see at the bottom of that hill, there's a very steep crack in the ice, and there's a big crevasse down there. And you can hear kind of the cracking of more ice around you, followed by the whirling of the wind and the storm. And even through your armor, you can feel the chill kind of starting to set in.
I'm okay. Kind of regretting not wearing any brown pants is all.
Don't worry, the first one's always hellish. You need a hand?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Alright, I'll go help the mage.
Okay, first question: did everybody live?
I'm good.
Okay.
At the moment,
And then Pickett will take off his helmet,
Yep.
turn his back to everyone, and proceed to vomit all over the snow.
Oh, yeah, they make this
What?
drug for that?
once Avery's on his feet, he goes and joins the vomiting.
And you guys gotta get...
You guys-
neurostimulators.
Yeah, you guys know that there's wear for that, right?
Or just like this thing for like motion sickness. Really
What's
helps
it?
with.
On dance on.
Yeah.
I think I'm fine with dealing with the first bit of vomiting. It'll get better, probably.
All right.
Hopefully, I hope so.
There's something that's actually incredibly disgusting, which is so cold out here when you go to vomit, it freezes the instant it leaves your mouth. So you've never actually vomited ice cubes before until this time.
Please don't tell me that the vomit's sort of like stuck on the tongue as well.
Oh, absolutely it is.
Yeah.
And some of it's like frozen on your face.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very unpleasant situation to be in.
I regret taking this
Does
job.
anybody have a little wet nappy thing, like a?
That's
you
just
know-
gonna make it worse, man. Just get your helmet back on. Hope it melts off.
Yep.
Avery tries to take a deep breath that doesn't smell like vomit
Yeah,
before
there-
putting his
try-
helmet back on.
Good luck.
yeah, there's given that it's now like frozen into your inside of your mouths, and the air here is so cold, it burns your throat as you breathe it in. As it's about minus 60 degrees.
It's beautiful stuff.
That feels
Yeah.
great. I love it.
Yeah, it's bracing.
Very brisk.
All right, guys. Helmet's on. We gotta get moving.
After you.
Right on. And once we're close enough, how snowblind are we?
You can see about 10 meters ahead of you.
Okay.
How is that racial thermal vision from trolls doing out here?
Yeah. Curious about that.
Actually-
60% of the party.
That's great.
So I've got my climbing kit with me. Do we want to run a line between us just so nobody gets dragged off by like a giant polar bear or a magic wizard?
Yeah, we need to
That's a good
definitely
idea.
do that.
Hey,
All right.
I
I
will be
won't
in the
drag you
front.
guys off.
No, you definitely would not.
All right, I'll get the line out. We'll form a little single file, and either I or someone else is more confident will take the lead.
I'll go in the middle.
Yeah, whoever thinks they have the best eyes, please take the lead.
Oh gosh,
I had some genetic.
my
work done on
perception's
eyes
not that
once.
great.
Like, you know how some people have rods and cones? I've got like extra rods and cones in my eyes, so I can see pretty well sometimes.
Cool. Well, here you go.
My perception's 4, so I think I'll stick with the middle.
Fine, I'll go in the front. Jeez, everybody's all scared, afraid you're going to get eaten by a polar storm bear or something.
All right, then I guess I'll get the back.
Beast will hang out behind Pickett.
All right.
Keeping an eye out on the completely non-matrix electrical spectrum that is running around because there's
Oh,
nothing
yeah.
running.
And
But-
technically you're also in, not only are you in a dead zone, but there's frozen water everywhere around you. So it's messing up your signal considerably.
Okay, so we're dealing with what, 7, 8, 9 noise?
Yeah.
Yes to noise.
Beast will rely on his radar and his ultrasound and his radio signal scanner.
So those of you who are in the lead and leading the way, give me a navigation check.
That's one of those smart people skills.
Oh no.
And you can assist that, I believe.
Yeah, I will happily assist Beast on this.
I had a thought, but I don't know if it would work because of the freezing temperature.
Oh.
Water spirit to help search, but it would fucking freeze, wouldn't it?
I
It
think
could remain
ice
on the
spirits are
astral.
valid, right?
Yeah, ice spirits
Yeah.
are as well.
Crap. Can you default to navigation, or does that require training?
No, you can default.
It's not in italics in Chummer, so.
All right. Well, Beast is second in line, and they seem to know what they're doing.
Yeah, I should take some psyche to know more what I'm doing.
I found
should I-
there's a snowy mountain that way. I found.
Should I roll as well? Because I'm sort of like in the middle. Then
If you want to help them,
I'll try and I'll give it a go.
Don't glitch.
no psychiatric today.
Yep, Beast goes ahead and takes a hit of psyche after going, yeah, I should really know what the hell it is I'm doing around here.
Yeah, you're not sure you want to go in the direction of the mountain because it was kind of in more of a flat plain. But putting your heads together, you kind of think, well, what if we go in this generally northern direction, right? Yeah, that'll work.
North is
And-
good.
And so you start your march. Like, give me a perception.
Are there any modifiers to this roll, Mr. GM?
No, although you're going to be limited for how far you can perceive.
Is it visual?
It can be. Oh, Hammer, you've got your helmet on, so you can't smell anything.
Oh,
Hammer's really confused why the Arctic smells like
Wait.
a helmet.
Was Hammer one of the ones that threw up? No, it was just Avery and
Just Pickett. Pickett has a phobia of heights,
Pickett and
so I
Avery.
figured it was appropriate.
Avery nearly died, so we threw up.
But I did get 3 eyeball hits on a visual perception.
So you can tell you're moving in the direction the storm is coming from, and the wind is blowing against you. There's occasionally these noises of the shifting ice around you that you can hear, and occasionally you see sort of like lights in the distance. But then the storm shifts again, and you lose cover for them.
Hey, wait a minute. Can't magic people do that thing where you turn into a ghost and you fly away? And he will actually turn and he'll poke Avi like really hard in the chest. You're the magic person. Can't you do that?
Yeah, I'll carry you if you do that. I know you guys turn into like lymph noodles.
I mean, sometimes.
What, are you afraid or something? Like there's like snow ghosts out there or something?
I mean, the Johnson did say something about that.
Avery is obviously
Hmm?
both slightly confused and agitated by the poking, but he just looks at Fence. I don't think I can do that. I don't know.
Okay, well you're the tiniest person here. We need to see where we're going. So how about Hez and I will just throw you up in the air and you can look.
If you throw me up in the air, I will not be the happiest person.
Just put the wingsuit back on.
Yeah, you won't crash. Fine, we'll just keep walking. Jeez.
But I might have an idea. I could use a friend of mine. Oh, hold on, wait. Can air spirits, they have search, right?
Yes. It's the search power is kind of limited though, especially if you're looking for a location and not a person.
Isn't there like a weather control power on a regular standard spirit?
Yes.
I've forgotten about that.
I am going to say though, if the weather patterns mysteriously change, and they're definitely going to be watching that, that might tip them off.
Yeah, it would probably make them a little cautious.
they'd probably send their mage out to scout the astral and then find a glowing beacon of spirit.
Yeah.
So let's
Whoa! He did say though that there were spirits around the area. So would it single out the spirit that was summoned, or would it just be sort of like a
it's really
brighter light within a bunch of darker dims?
it's really hard to say out here.
You'd probably have to look around in the astral a little bit to figure out how prevalent spirits are.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you wanna conjure something up, go for it. But we got the gear and we got our location, so I think we can muddle through. Plus, we got a whole day of walking ahead of us too.
I say we just walk rather than risk being found before we're even at the fucking location.
All right.
All right, so why don't you guys give me a body plus will check, and make this at a +4 because you're in clothing that's very suited for this environment in this particular task. This is a fatigue check for doing kind of a forced march, and your threshold is 4.
I'm kind of sad that the synthetic heart doesn't help with fatigue rolls.
Oh, you have the synth cardium?
Yeah.
That should help for that stuff.
Ooh. If I had been smart, I would have gotten an infusion of hyperglucagon. Oh well, next time.
You're fucking kidding me.
If you want to, you may spend edge, and then re-roll your failures.
I'm kind of a little weary of spending edge with the bad luck that I have.
Oh.
Got 5.
I have 5.
Well, to give you a little more info to base your decision off of, it's very possible that we won't be able to rest this stuff off because we're in the middle of the Arctic. So any fatigue damage you get might be with you for the rest of the run.
Alright,
That's not a guarantee. That's not a guarantee. We probably have tents and stuff, but
this doesn't fucking out. Alright, alright, hold on. I have to weigh my options in my head for a little bit.
yeah.
Too.
Oh, no.
Okay, if I spend edge and I do get a bad luck hit, what would possibly happen? That I just
The
get
exact-
completely fatigued?
Yeah, the exact opposite of what you wished, or what you were spending edge on. So you would take double the amount of fatigue.
Any helpful trolls willing to carry a mage?
Yeah, if you pass out, we'll carry you. I say
I
it's
don't
not one of
mean-
the trolls.
I don't mean while I'm passed out. I will pay you. Probably not, but I am only a mere human. Please.
If you get the bad luck though, then it's out of the way for the rest of the session.
Yeah, but then I'm stuck with fatigue. Ah.
It's a tough decision either way.
Oh. And now I gotta roll a d6, right?
The thrills of shadow running.
Woo! I got a fucking 6.
All right, so you guys take off. And the thing about the Arctic in the winter is there is no sunlight. So it is basically pitch black, especially with the storm. And you guys march for about 4 hours against the wind, and then you realize you've overshot your target.
Ah.
So you kind of turn around and then you start marching south. And this time it's a lot easier because now the wind is at your back and it's kind of pushing you. And rather than, in a lot of the pictures of the North Pole, things are very flat. But the South Pole, because it's not all entirely ice, there's actually land underneath. It actually has terrain. And so you have to do a fair bit of climbing and go over hills. And then you have to kind of change the direction that you've moved in order to avoid going through a crevasse, right? And then before too long, you find yourselves getting closer and closer to your target. Because on your HUD, there's this giant red arrow kind of pointing down at where the station is supposed to be. And in like brief breaks in the storm, those of you with thermal vision can see little heat signatures. And with your vision mags, you can kind of just make out the sort of the towering domes, right? And you see a little bit of a glint.
All right. This seems like a good time to have a plan. From the info we got from the Johnson, how tall is the electrified fence around this place?
4 meters.
Ah! Just too high for me.
Because they got to watch out for awakened polar bears.
That like to jump.
Hold their piasmas.
and like man-eating seals.
He said that they were all hardwired. Would the info that we got from him, would that say that the power station that keeps them electrified, would they be inside the building or outside the building?
They would
We-
be connected by a wire.
It's all wired, and we know that the main generator is in here. I'll ping it for you. That bottom building there, which is also the security building.
So Beast is, of course, running his radio signal scanner. Is he picking up anything from the general area?
You guys stopped about 100 meters away, and you do not. That's out of the range for a radio signal scanner. If you'd like to make a matrix perception,
Sure.
you're expecting to see a matrix deadland around here, Beast. But there is a little bit of a signal around here, and so your noise has gone down from a 12 to about a 9, mainly due to the complete lack of devices to generate an actual matrix. But you do see a few things. There's an icon that tells you clearly it's like a satellite, probably for like a satellite phone or that kind of a thing. There's a number of tools that are wirelessly on. There's a series of comm links that are wirelessly on. There is a TRID that's wirelessly on. And there's a number of vehicles that seem to be connected to the matrix as well.
The turrets aren't included in those vehicles, are they?
No,
All right.
And this is, of course, me looking through the radio signal scanner, right?
I assume that was your own like matrix perception.
Well, that's
'Cause
what I'm
you're-
trying to figure out is, can I defeat 9 noise?
Because a radio signal scanner has a range of 20 meters.
Yeah.
Of course it does. Why isn't there just a... Yeah.
And you were aware that all the from the Johnson's research and legwork, all the main security features were hardwired.
Beast, do you have one of those things that lets you loop around a data cable?
Yes, of course.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
Okay. I do I can actually defeat 9 noise.
All right. So step one's getting past that fence and the turrets. We've still got the cover of the storm, right?
Yes, you do.
All right.
It's starting to break a little bit, like
Oh.
it's lessening, but it's still going right now.
All right. Then we're probably gonna want to move fast.
And you can see them, Maggie.
Ooh, nice.
You can tell that there's definitely a chain link fence around this whole thing. Portions of it, even though it was described as being 4 meters, because of how the snow has shifted, parts of it are actually only like 2 meters.
Ooh.
You know, because the snow piles up and it makes it's like sand dunes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you might be aware that some of those mounds of snow might not be terribly stable,
Yeah. Probably.
but the turrets are pretty easy to spot as they're on kind of thin poles that are attached to the fence. And they look like sort of little machine guns.
So by little machine guns, are you talking like SMG, carbine, assault rifle?
Well, they look like
Minigun.
miniguns, but they're not big like a minigun would be.
So
Do you have a security devices?
I have security procedures knowledge, but I'm not sure I even spotted them.
They are painted white. However, the main building itself is this really ugly, bright orange color.
Mr. Jim, how many turrets do
That
we
way you
see?
can see it.
There seems to be one about every 20 meters.
And is this the fence that goes around the entire compound, or just the one that we see on the map with the security building that has the generators?
No, it goes around the entire compound.
Hey, Beast,
Oh, okay.
Beast, can you do that thing where you find out if the fence is all electrified?
Yeah. Yeah, I will.
'Cause I brought
All right.
Beast,
So-
just like that other place. I brought the chainsaw. I brought it.
Awesome.
Remember
Yes.
last time what I did with the chainsaw?
Yes, I do. That was awesome. It's good work. All right. So as far as the icons, I didn't see any that stood out to me as being wireless icons for any kind of security measures, right?
Nothing that seemed like a security feature. Entertainment devices, phones, vehicles, tools.
Things that people just basically forgot to shut the wireless the wireless off on them is what it's sounding like.
A number of science equipment is wirelessly on.
All right, and we've done a visual perception of the fence to at least tell if there's any kind of cameras or sensors that we can see.
Maggie has. If anyone else would like to do a
Mr. GM, since I have the tetrachromatic vision modification on my eyes, does that apply to the thermal as well?
yes, it applies to all vision with your eyeballs.
And can I take the +3 for observe in detail for this?
Absolutely.
All right, can I take a +8 just because you're a nice guy?
No, I'm not that nice.
One of these days you'll fall for it. Look at all those hits.
How do I check out the astral?
So there's two ways you can do it. You can either just sense from where you are. You can also project and then fly around on the astral world and look with your astral senses that way.
Would any of them alert the mage though?
If they have a spirit or a watcher, it's probably, you would know from your previous, sort of college educations when you took that Intro to Magical Security 101, that a very common security tactic is to have a hermetic mage like yourself bring forth a watcher or a spirit, and then you give it sort of a list of things to look for, and then it'll fly around in a predetermined pattern, keeping an eye out from the astral. And then if it sees anything that you've told it to look for, it'll fly back and tell you. The way spirits work is you have the spirit summoner link. So if they see anything suspicious, they will instantly report it through that spirit summoner link. And because they're spirits, they tend to be a little bit more intelligent and are better able to interpret your commands. Although they're spirits, so sometimes they have a difficult time interacting with technology or understanding the human world. The watchers are generally dumber than a stack of bricks, and you have to be very literal with the commands that you give them. They don't have the spirit summoner link, so when they see something, they have to fly back through the astral world, find their summoner, materialize in front of them, and then tell them what it is that they saw.
I think I might just sense.
Yeah, it'd be good to get a look because we do know there's a mage around.
So one thing you're aware of, the way I interpret things, is spirits cannot sneak. So generally speaking, spirits are pretty easy to spot. And there's a lot of things that you can see just, with 0 hits. Like a ward, right? As long as the mage hasn't taken the time to make sure that it's, an inch within the wall on the inside, right? You can generally spot those things for free. Same thing with active magical effects. However, in a sensing will give you more information above and beyond that kind of free stuff. So opening your third eye, the first thing you're confronted with is sort of the raw power of nature around here. This is one of the last untamed, this is an untamed wilderness, and it's teeming with power and reflective of that on the astral plane. However, you can tell that closer to the facility, the astral is a little bit different over there. And you can tell that there's sort of a big ward going over the main facility itself, which is like a ward on the astral plane. And then you see a little being. He's about a foot tall or so, and he's doing a kind of lazy patrol around this entire facility, and you recognize it quite easily as a watcher.
If you said spirit, I was going to lose my shit. It's just wasp spirits in the middle of Antarctica. Don't worry about it.
No, we've been sent by Ares.
Well, bugs
Fuck.
bugs frequently hate other bugs, so they're on a mission for the ants. The army
They have,
ants.
they have eyes. Let's just say that.
You can
Alright.
tell
That-
it takes about 6 seconds for it to do an entire circuit around the fence. And with
6
that, you can tell that
seconds.
it's a Force 3 watcher.
No, don't worry about it. It's practically blind.
Mage is one dastardly awakened son of a bitch. He knows how to do his job.
I hate when they know how to do their job.
Yeah, don't you just fucking hate when they know how to do their job?
Well, hopefully you know how to do it better, right?
Avery just looks at him, laughs a little nervously before looking back.
And feel free, Maggie, to give some advice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
any advice is helpful.
So normally, because we're usually in Seattle, these watchers are normally in very life-dense areas, so they're usually ordered to keep an eye out for magic things only. I can't say whether that's going to be the case here, because any living thing that approaches this place is going to be of interest. So with that said, it might be best to take this thing out before we approach. And you can usually just watch them and get a sense of like how long it takes before they report to their master, and then just like bap them when they pop back out if you have any astral combat.
Oh fuck!
He does have a stun bolt spell, so he does have a mana spell.
I have Stumbolt.
Okay.
I just don't have Astral Combat.
Then in that case, if I'm going to meta a little hard, I would suggest once the Watcher is kind of on the far end of its patrol, you bring out a Spirit so that you have a much better chance of taking it out before it gets away, because it's not going to have to go very far.
Astro Cage match.
Yeah, if you have a Mana Barrier, you can also prevent it from getting away, or
Yeah.
Mana Bind.
I have Mana Barrier, and I can do. I have Mana Barrier and a Stumbolt.
Yeah, that'll work. The Watchers are very, very weak. So even with this thing, the smallest little ward that you pop, or smallest barrier that you pop up will probably keep it contained as long enough to murder it. I would, depending on how good you are at soaking drain, summoning a spirit might be a better way. I peeped at your sheet a little bit. You're a combat mage,
Yeah.
right?
Combat Mage.
All right, you got a pretty decent chance of murdering this thing.
Worst case, and ultimately worst case, reagents.
Yeah. So yeah, if you bubble this thing and just pelt it with stun bolts, it's gonna have basically one die to resist.
Yeah. Which I think that is exactly what I might do.
All right. Before we really launch into it and basically start the timer for the alarm, I outlined a rough plan a little bit earlier, and I don't know if you guys are cool with it. But basically, I'm thinking Maggie can get over the fence, either sabotage the power cable or hook Beast up to it, take out the perimeter enough for us to get through, and then we head straight for the security building, kill everybody. It's knock out. I'm sorry, knock out. I'm not a monster. Knock out everybody inside,
Kill
and then
everybody.
take the stairs. take the stairs through the sub-level to get to the interior part of the complex. If we jam them and we hit them really, really hard and maybe cut the power, then they might not even know what's happening inside.
That is a sound plan, except for the whole no killing people.
I'm not gonna make a I won't judge anyone else, but I'll be packing Joe. You do what you gotta do. We're out here in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Some people might choke a little bit on some toxic, or if you see people convulsing, just leave them. It's totally not lightning or anything.
So
Okay.
when
the
you say
important thing-
toxic, I
the
know you
important-
mean toxic wave.
Toxic wave.
An
Yeah,
important
but the-
distinction.
The important
Toxic
thing
acid,
is they have
It
they
should
have
be called acid or something.
Acid explosion.
Hey guys, did you forget about the machine guns on the poles?
Well, I'm thinking they're hooked up to the same power that the electrified fence would be. So if I can get past it, then I can take out the whole thing.
That's a big assumption, though.
That's true.
I'm in. Worst case is we just pop them, but that would probably set off an alarm somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, if we can get past the fence, I think
I
Beast and I might be
brought
able to.
I brought a chainsaw.
Ooh.
It's mine.
Ooh.
man.
Yeah,
Ooh.
pick me. With the
Hang on.
chainsaw and me, we can probably get through a wall pretty quick.
Yep.
Or a bridge.
I just
Are the guns on swivel mounts?
Yes, and you can tell that they slowly shift and pan around.
In a complete circle?
No, they don't seem to be staring inside.
But they
Alright.
probably do.
What's the amount of give that they have on their swivel mounts?
Do you have security devices?
Like,
Although
Mr.
Tez-
Jim, are they actively moving right now, like panning left and right, or are they just
Yeah.
stationary?
No, they seem to be moving around. And Pickett, you can easily spot the cable. You can tell that the outer fence does not seem to be electrified. Although there is some kind of small sensor attached to it.
oh,
And based on what you're kind of looking at, based on Hammer's kind of previous knowledge, he's pretty sure that the turrets could rotate into the facility, but they're mainly like looking out for things that might be approaching, like awakened polar bears.
Turrets like that usually have like an integrated scanner or something, so they're probably looking out for now. But they
Yeah.
could probably turn them around on us. I mean, corps are cheap, but it's not that much more expensive to have a 360 swivel.
Hey,
So what do you do when something gets in the compound?
Okay, I got an idea. What do we know if the fence goes all the way to like dirt, or does it just stop at the snow? Because we could just dig a tunnel.
I don't have the kind of like
Probably in the ice.
I don't feel like digging through ice for that. So only for it to come up to be pointless.
I also don't want to get buried, and I'm not a miner.
Wait a minute. We have a chainsaw. We have a mage that can lift things.
Do you
Right.
want me to try and lift the fence?
Well,
No. Blocks of ice. If we cut big squares out of the ice and then lift them out with levitation. Oh wait, shit! How do we cut the bottom?
all right. Don't worry about it too much. I think we're overthinking this a tiny bit.
I could blast the ice out.
Well, I mean, how are you going to get over that fence? Because it's pretty tall.
There's
Someone levitates with. I could levitate someone that's standing on the ice.
I'm pretty confident I could get over that fence without too much issue.
Don't get shocked.
Yeah. And with the weather the way it is, I could I think I can get up to that cable. And I know the chainsaw is a really good route, but I want to at least get up to the security room so they don't have time to lock everything down before they're under attack, you know?
Okay, it's just the last guy I knew tried to climb a fence. I mean, I cut the whole fence down before he even got over it. I'm just saying.
Oh, I'm not going to climb. Don't worry. I'm just going to vault it.
Hammer eyes Maggie's legs.
Is that what those are for?
Hell yeah.
That sounds awesome.
So you guys cool with doing this all operator style? And like
do you want a
cutting
hand
the
grenade?
power, then creeping in?
Do you want a hand grenade
Yeah.
to blow him up? Because I have a hand grenade. I stole it.
We can just use a hand grenade to get through the fence. So what are we? So there's a sensor on the fence. I would like to get Beast up to that sensor in order to plug in, see what he can see.
I'm going to guess the sensor is hardwired.
Handle the spirit first.
Exactly.
Yes.
The launcher?
The sensor is hardwired to the rest of the security controller.
Are you confident you can get up there without getting lit up by the guns?
Well, I mean, we have our thermal dampening, and I would imagine that we have our mage here to help with other things.
Okay. Because
Depends on what these other things are.
Well, if you can get a mark on, yeah, I'm going completely metagame now. Sorry. If you can get into that sensor, then that probably will get you on the whole grid. So you could also take care of the sentry guns without them knowing something's wrong.
Yeah, I was pretty much thinking of making the sentry guns our friends.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, but remember that they don't spin all the way into the base.
They do.
They do.
Oh, they
They
do.
definitely
Oh, okay.
do.
All
They
right.
just don't right now.
All right.
So I think we've got enough of a plan to work for our 2 logic team here, and our college educated mage, of course. So
Yeah. All right. So I
Um,
mana barrier the Watcher,
Beast is pretty clever too.
Oh yeah.
and then I just fucking fling shit at it. All right.
Yeah.
That's me sorted.
Beast is rocking an 8 intelligence right now at the moment.
More
by
than the rest
pretty
of the
clever. What I actually mean is smarter than any being alive on Earth currently. IRL.
Yeah.
Alright.
Stroking your ego there, man.
So one
Hey,
other
it's not my character.
what other hot mage tip? One of the useful powers of spirits is concealment. So once the Watcher is out of the way, we can make Beast almost invisible in this storm, I think.
He also has
Alright.
improved invisibility as a spell.
Yeah, I've got
That-
improved invisibility.
That's
Probably going to be a little bit better.
Well, not in every case, because when you use improved invisibility, devices resist that with their object resistance rating, which means the more complicated it is, the better a chance it has to see through it. In the case of drones or turrets, that's a pretty high rating.
All right.
That's true.
How do you feel being concealed in a water elemental? I mean, water spirit.
Oh, he doesn't have to be inside it.
I know that you don't have to be inside. Alright, I want you to go and swallow that man while he does his job.
All right.
Should we get this show on the road?
Yeah,
Pray
I
to
think we have
God Pray to God the dice don't fuck us over.
we have something that can be mistaken for a plan and 2 trolls. I think we're
I think
Three.
that's what we need is just the 2 trolls.
We got 3 trolls.
Yeah, worst case,
Oh.
we have 3 meat shields. I mean, we have 3 very strong-willed trolls.
Oh,
I thought Beast was
my
an orc.
mistake. He
Beast
is
is an orc.
Yeah.
My bad.
So 2.5 trolls.
2.5 trolls.
the margarine of
Wait,
trolls.
wait. Don't humans count as a quarter troll each? We have 3 trolls. That's it.
Rounding up, yeah.
Mana barrier away. I'll force 4 mana barrier.
Right, so you kind of go back on the astral and you keep an eye out. And then you see the Watcher come around again on your side. Throw me them bones.
For those listening, that would be 0 hits on 12 dice.
Well, is it time to tempt bad luck again?
I thought bad luck only gets progged once.
It
No.
only
Only if it goes off.
Yeah, it can only trigger once.
Oh no, I gave the Watcher armor. Don't worry. We gotta
The first roll of the fucking plan. That's a 0 on 12 dice. I'm fucking burning edge because I can't.
No, don't say burning. Spending.
Not burning, spending. Spending edge.
This is why bad luck is such a terrifying thing, because you rely on edge so much. Don't worry, we got a very improvisational.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, 3.
Make sure you
Ooh, it's
spend-
getting lower. Alright, I gotta get rid of 1 edge.
pay no attention to the turn order track.
I just saw the turn order and it kind of scared me.
And roll your astral initiative for me. All right, you go first. You see this as suddenly your dome or ball kind of appears around it on the astral, and it goes ah, and starts to like spin in a circle.
So I guess I should throw a stun ball at. That's 5. Fuck.
Oh, you're fine. So you take no drain, since it would be 3 for 4, 6.
Yeah.
The Watcher is almost dead.
Almost.
It takes that blast, and you hear its wail across the astral, and then it goes and tries to whack against your barrier. but it's pretty badly injured.
Is that a critical glitch?
That would be a critical glitch.
And it runs head first into the wall of your mana barrier, and then dissipates.
All right, fucking killed itself. Hell yeah.
Oh, poor little babies.
Avery
a
just
bluster.
Avery just laughs to himself. Guys, it just fucking killed itself.
And all of your guys' hair is standing on end right now. You feel that weird magic feel, even though you didn't see anything.
So if you're ready, it might be time for that spirit.
Right, you guys got. Remember your clock. That mage is gonna fucking realize some shit's up when his watcher doesn't return.
It's all right. It's already too late for him. Hopefully, let's not fuck up.
Don't jinx it, buddy.
Just get that spirit out. Let's go.
What spirit should I fucking cast? That's a good question.
Anything with concealment will work perfectly well. The main factor is going to be the force of it, which will determine how many dice it takes away from the enemy perception. So 4 or better is usually good to sit with. Though since there's probably going to be more magical opposition, you might want to go as high as 6 if you're comfortable. Though that'll give you some drain.
So something with concealment, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'll just cast a Spirit Severe. Can spirits freeze?
No.
Okay, good.
I mean,
Yeah,
if it
I'll
was, their allergy is actually to fire. And,
What?
ice spirits can be a thing.
Spirit weakness is fire.
For a water spirit, yes.
That doesn't make sense.
Yes,
That
you
doesn't matter.
can't actually mechanically freeze a spirit unless you use a spell to do something of that nature to it.
All right, yeah, I'll summon water spirit.
I forget, were you the guy who was going to make the Elementalist?
I was gonna make the Elementalist, but then I changed to Hermetic Combat Mage that can summon
I see.
at 4/6. 4/6.
Yeah. 6 stands a good chance of giving you a little drain, but the whole like game of maging is getting the most you can for that little bit of drain that you're inevitably going to take, and to make sure you finish the mission before you pass out.
If you'd like to describe your water spirit a little for us.
So, because of the environment that we are in, once as it materializes from a small portion of ice, it begins liquefying. Suddenly, before Avery, there is a sort of half melted ice, half watery, like half snowy water spirit, and it looks to Avery and it asks, and it waiting for his command.
What you need, boss?
Conceal that man while he does his shit.
Maggie's a girl.
Oh well, Beast is going in. Though
There's armor. He can't tell who's who.
though on that note, it's a strong enough spirit that it could conceal all of us, and we are probably all going to be
Yep.
making sneaking rolls.
Conceal us, please.
Sorry if I'm backseating a little bit.
It's fine. First run. Like it's helpful guidance.
Consider it done, boss. Spirit kind of closes its one of its spouts, and then another spout shifts, and you all feel a little tingliness. But otherwise, the world looks the same.
And we're good to go.
If you're still astrally perceiving, you can see that they're all have the critter power resting on them. So he is using the concealment.
Sweet. Avery leaves the astral planes.
All right, what's next?
So we have,
I
I
guess-
believe, Beast was going to sneak up to the fence and tap into that physical sensor. And
Yep.
Maggie was getting ready to jump over the fence and murder people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Beast, give me a sneaking roll as you begin to approach the fence.
Okay, and just to be clear, the spirit provides minus dice for the opposition's perception.
That's
suit,
correct.
Right, and then the thermal dampening on the suit is rated at level 3, so that's 3 more dice.
If it's wirelessly on, it's 3 more dice. If it is wirelessly off, it's just a limit.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Oh, really?
So in
Yeah.
a sense, we're
And
quite
that's
invisible.
wireless. That's wireless on attached to the matrix, right?
Yeah. But
Okay,
you
so
can.
it doesn't apply here.
I thought you could cut through the noise.
Okay. Yes, I can. I was just correct. Yes, I can. I can slave it to my deck. Okay.
Does that satisfy a beast?
No, I'll go ahead and edge that. Although I feel like it'll probably be overkill, but might as well.
Hey man, if we can get up to the sec room without them knowing, then that's gonna be a big plus for us. Also, you probably don't want to get lit up by those guns.
All right, 4 dice.
All right, beast. So you begin to crawl forward, trying to use the little humps of snow as a little bit of breaking the line of sight. And then at the last second, you kind of dash when the camera's turned away. And then it turns back and it starts panning your direction, and you just drop to the ground. And it kind of pans over you. And then it goes back the other direction without lighting you up. And then you keep crawling across the space. And before you know it, you're crouched right by the fence.
Go ahead and attach my data tab. And
And
check
suddenly the matrix opens up before you, as there's a system that was hardwired that you now have access to.
So what am I interfacing with here? A sensor of some sort?
The matrix perception.
Okay.
Oh, this is definitely a system. And it's similar to like a host. So it's actually a security controller. You've seen these before.
Yes, very familiar with these.
This one seems to be a rating 4.
What does it seem to control? What's its firewall?
Firewall is 5.
I'll load up my agent and I will do a hack on the fly for. Were there other devices I could see, or am I stuck at the entry point of the controller?
Well, you have questions about this device.
Okay. Okay.
So
Let me
you
just
can-
ask the question. Can I tell what's slave to it?
A very large number of devices.
Okay. Yes.
And mechanical systems.
Okay.
You can tell the doors are slave to it. Life support systems are slave to it. Lights, security features.
Hey Beast, can you tell what kind of what they use on their doors for to keep people from going through if they don't have access?
Yeah, I definitely can.
Hey, what would happen if you turned off the heaters? Like, how long until that place got cold?
Probably very fast.
Oh Jesus.
Well, you're aware from the blueprints that the insulation on this kind of a building is actually pretty hardcore. So it might take 12 to 24 hours for it to normalize.
Just keep the ventilation going, but turn off the furnace.
Hey, what would happen
Mhm.
if you jacked up the heaters to like double power and you started cooking them?
I'm pretty sure they already run the heaters at max power down here.
Oh, I would just pump in cold air. All right. Anyway, I need to get into the security controller first. All right. Are the turrets slave to this thing?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Then I will go ahead and do a go big hack on the fly with my agent for 3 marks. Yeah, I'll throw an edge at it. Okay, I'm comfortable with that level of success. I can keep all 8.
You have 4 questions.
I'm sorry. What? I did a hack on the fly.
For every 2 net hits, you get a question like a Matrix Perception.
Correct. I just want to make sure that I had 3 marks.
Yes, you do, and you also get 4 questions.
Oh, okay. It had 0. Understand. Hey, it's a great use of edge.
But the system opens before you, like a giant chess piece, right? You can tell that the pawns are different doors, and that moving them across the board would either open or close them. Other than the main entrance and the escape hatches, they don't seem to have actual locks on them, and the locks are like airlock style, right?
Mm-hmm.
They seem to be relying on the remoteness of their location for that stuff. There's the turrets, there's the environmental controls, there's a number of like scientific equipment, there's the telescope,
Okay.
there's like the full kitchen suite stuff, for their soy processing unit and whatnot.
Hey, what kind of science stuff do they have in there? Like, are they trying to make like volcano bears or something, or are they like growing like flowers?
They got telescopes. They're looking for the aliens.
Did they find any?
Currently,
I just got entrance.
they have a hydroponic system. They're currently midway through an analysis of some kind of chemical.
Do they have any cameras looking at the box?
But yes, they do. They do have no, not looking at the box, but they do have internal cameras, and they do have external cameras.
Remind me real quick on a security controller. I do not need to get marks on each single device. Is that a correct statement?
Oh, well, you have 3 marks on the controller, and all of these things are wired and slaved to the controller.
Okay.
So your marks don't go downward.
Yeah.
But because of where you hacked in, you also have 3 marks on the fence sensor.
Would Beast be able to use Spoof Command because they've got the mark on the thing that's running the rest of the system?
I could definitely run spoof commands. Okay, so if I understand you correct, I mean with this setup I have to go into each turret in order to turn it back on the inside, right?